Greetings, Kaiju viewer! I'm Tom, and in this Kaijutopia video, I'll be breaking down Fest Godzilla 4, Operation Jet Jaguar. After the story recap, I'll share my thoughts on the movie, and then speculate about what might happen next. One last thing, please consider supporting the channel, be it by subscribing, leaving a comment, becoming a member, or making a one-time donation. Everything you do makes a big difference. Thank you, everyone. The film starts with a little exposition that reads, "As Godzilla destroyed Hedorah and Gigan, it seemed as if a moment of peace had come to Japan. However, Godzilla, having lost its enemies to defeat, started to destroy various parts of Japan. The damage became extensive." I like how Godzilla went on a rampage because there was no one left for him to fight. Moreover, this confirms direct continuity with the previous Godzilla Fest films, which you may or may not be able to find somewhere online. Back to destroying various parts of Japan, Godzilla is doing just that. Crowds of people run for their lives as Godzilla towers over Shibuya. We see the famous Shibuya 109 department store behind Godzilla, which is a shopping destination for many worldwide. But Godzilla hates shopping and decides to torch a skyscraper nearby. Next, we're gifted this amazing bird's eye view of the city with Godzilla shrieking a challenge to the world. A challenge that will soon be answered. Tired of Godzilla's costly attacks, the top brass of the Japanese government has developed the anti-Godzilla machine. No, it's not Mechagodzilla. Sorry, it ain't Megara. It's Jet Jaguar! Jet Jaguar is described as being a giant soldier with an advanced AI brain, which begs the question, how did they program the AI? In order for Jet Jaguar to be the anti-Godzilla machine, I'm guessing they had him watch every Godzilla film ever made. For educational purposes, of course. Hey, thumbs up if you agree with my fan theory. Or maybe Jet Jaguar watched Marvel movies because Jet Jaguar arrives like Iron Man. Okay, so imagine what Godzilla must be feeling in this moment. For the past few years, he's fought against and defeated the likes of Hedorah and Gigan. These are two fearsome kaiju. After waiting over a year for a new challenger, it finally arrives in the form of a Power Ranger. Godzilla is not impressed, so he tries blasting Jet Jaguar. What happens next is one of the coolest scenes ever, at least in recent memory. Jet Jaguar runs directly at Godzilla while dodging the Monster King's atomic beams. It's a truly epic scene. It's shot and choreographed so damn well. I loved it. Scenes like this are what inspired me to become a filmmaker and makes me truly love and appreciate tokusatsu. Jet Jaguar knows he's awesome because he's not only dodging Godzilla's heat ray and tail at point blank, he's jumping in the air and kicks Godzilla in the face like it's the like button. Godzilla and Jet Jaguar engage in a good old-fashioned brawl. During a wrestling match that would make Mick Foley proud, Jet Jaguar catches Godzilla's tail and throws him against a building. Since his song is stuck in his head and it's looping on the punch, punch, punch part, Jet Jaguar lunges at Godzilla to punch him in his prick face. Suddenly, Godzilla moves out of harm's way at the last possible second. We're inside an office space when Jet Jaguar's massive swinging fist demolishes the office. No doubt because Steve Carell was nowhere to be found. Realizing he's punched a hole through an innocent skyscraper, JJ turns around to see Godzilla charging up his atomic breath. JJ hightails it as Godzilla opens fire. Once again, we're treated to this awesome scene of Jet Jaguar running down a street with Godzilla's heat ray in hot pursuit. Yeah, the pun was intended. Eventually, Godzilla's atomic fire, like life, catches up to you, you know? JJ is blasted off his feet, but he doesn't have time to calculate the probability of his survival. Godzilla picks him up by the metallic scruff of his neck and chucks him like he's an empty rubber suit. Godzilla stands over him, unimpressed. The king of the monsters charges up his atomic breath, casting its deadly blue radiance over Jet Jaguar's reflective face. The noble warrior watches on, helplessly. Suddenly, a familiar-looking golden bolt of lightning strikes Godzilla in the back of his head, sending the atomic reptile crashing into the rubble. Like the rest of us, JJ searches the night sky for Godzilla's attacker, but we savvy fans already know who the culprit is. It's King Ghidorah. And Ghidorah is sporting his GMK 2001 look. Am I the only one who's warmed up to this design? It feels like over time GMK Ghidorah keeps looking better and better. But there's something different about him. Gone is the benign guardian monster shtick. This is an evil GMK Ghidorah. Ghidorah spits gravity beams left and right, sowing chaos and destruction. Meanwhile, Jet Jaguar watches all this go down. If you think about it, he was literally born yesterday, so this must be a lot to take in. No doubt calculating his terrible odds of survival, not just for him, but for all of Japan. Jet Jaguar looks over at the falling Godzilla. And real quick in the shot, we see a scar on Godzilla's left cheek. Gigan gave him this in the previous film, so that's a great callback. I love it when projects, however big or small, take continuity seriously, so great job, filmmakers. Next, we see Jet Jaguar standing over the fallen Godzilla. JJ probably knows he could end Godzilla's life right here and now, which is what he was made to do. But Jet Jaguar is more than just a machine taking orders. He's a sentient being, capable of making choices of his own free will. As Godzilla's hand falls, Jet Jaguars is there to grip it tight through the power of friendship. What happens next is so ridiculous and cheesy. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, which, by proxy, makes it the greatest thing that's ever happened to you, too. Godzilla and Jet Jaguar put aside their differences, forging a friendship that would make their Showa counterparts nod in approval. There's this moment where Godzilla is talking to Jet Jaguar like he's saying, "I was wrong about you, kid." And Jet Jaguar, in true Jet Jaguar fashion, gives Godzilla a thumbs up. And it made me so happy. It was so awesome. The two titans unite against King Ghidorah. Ghidorah watches them stand in defiance, probably thinking, yeah, well, it's still 3-on-1, so the advantage is mine, losers. Because he's got 3 heads. For the first time in this continuity, Godzilla has an ally. The two prepare for war as the story ends by announcing the next movie's title, Fest Godzilla 5, All Monster Showdown. We're getting another one, and if it's anything like Jet Jaguar or Gigan, it'll be a wild ride. So, speaking of wild rides, Operation Jet Jaguar was an adrenaline power trip. One can only hope Toho keeps this modern day classic short film up indefinitely, because it's a love letter to everything that makes the Godzilla series great. I found myself thoroughly impressed by the prestigious talents of the filmmakers. Despite this being a short film, it still somehow managed to cram a feature-length load of awesomeness into a 10-minute time frame. The special effects were a perfect blend of motion graphics and practical effects. One thing I've really enjoyed about these films is how they pay tribute to all eras, not just Showa, although the filmmakers' Showa favoritism is paramount. We're getting a series starting Final Wars Godzilla, a Millennium era design, fighting kaiju with Showa Millennium designs, some even redesigns, with Heisei era music. Now all we need are Heisei kaiju. More on that in a moment. Okay, let's talk about the J-Man. Jet Jaguar was amazing. They nailed his look and personality, and the best part, we get to see him come back again next year. Of course, that, you know, it remains to be seen if Godzilla and JJ's alliance is permanent. I mean, if they, like, what's gonna happen if they defeat King Ghidorah? Let's say it's just, you know, Godzilla and Jet Jaguar against King Ghidorah. The good guys prevail. Are we gonna get a rematch, or are they gonna? Is this gonna be like a Godzilla versus Kong situation where they've earned each other's respect, so they go their separate ways? Godzilla is all like, yeah, I'll totally, I'll spare Japan for, like, you know, till the next anniversary film. Jet Jaguar is all like, cool, man, cool, I'll see you next time. With that said, I do have one minor nitpick. Jet Jaguar is more than a brawler. Don't get me wrong, my face was grinning like Jet Jaguar's every time he and Godzilla squared off. Literally every time JJ was on screen, I was on cloud 9. However, I was hoping we'd see him change his size throughout the battle, at least once. Maybe he'd use his eyes to blind Godzilla, or use his Godzilla Save the Earth video game giving concussive energy blasts. Personally, I think JJ's Save the Earth power set, along with their respective pros and cons. For example, JJ could become like 3 times as big as any kaiju, but this made him very, very slow. Anyway, I think the Save the Earth power set make for a great template for how to use him efficiently in battles, so I'd like to see that ideally in the next film. Now, let's speculate about the next film. This is a YouTube video after all. I mean, what's a YouTube video without another round of speculation? 2024 will pay tribute to several prominent anniversaries. 1974's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, 1994's Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, and 2004's Godzilla Final Wars. What does this mean? My esteemed kaiju viewer, that is a great question. I'll tell you what I think it means. It means we might be getting Mechagodzilla, King Caesar, Space Godzilla, maybe even Moguera, and Monster X all in one action-packed movie, with Godzilla, Jet Jaguar, and King Ghidorah starting things off. I can't help but think maybe they still have some suits lying around. I mean, they might still have the recent Gigan and Hedorah suits from the previous Godzilla Fest projects. And perhaps Toho is gonna, we're gonna see them modify some old suits. There's also another character, that we shouldn't rule out, because Toho has shown, as of late, an unexpected amount of love for this guy lately. I'm talking about the one and only Bagan, the kaiju that never was. Granted, the Super Godzilla video game was released December 23rd, 1993. But its North America release was 1994, so, we're still looking at a 30-year anniversary. Okay, so I know Bagan is a huge, massive reach, but I regret nothing, and honestly, the fact that we're talking about him still, I mean, he's on GODZILLA. We've seen they've made a Bagan suit or puppet, I believe. Toho hasn't forgotten about Bagan, so why should we? Okay, so in all seriousness, all the kaiju I've speculated on thus far, it's a tall order. As much as I'd love to see many of these characters return in a single jam-packed flick, we're in don't hold your breath territory. Not to mention, we're still talking about a short film. Now maybe they'll make it 15 or 20 minutes long, but even for a feature-length film, all these kaiju kind of, it's arguably the biggest issue, the Achilles heel for many kaiju films that are jam-packed with so many monsters. It's kind of like having so many supervillains in one film. But hey, there's a solution here. We could end up seeing a few of them show up in the equally great Gemstone series, which might be for the best. And again, Mothra be thy name. Imagine a scarier looking Space Godzilla going up against adult Godzilla Jr. Talk about a rematch. I could see that. I want it. I mean, throw in Mechagodzilla too. Have it a Godzilla like free for all. It's called Godzilla Fest for crying out loud. Make it Toho. I know you're listening. Go for it. Alright, Godzilla fans, we've been eating so good lately, and we haven't even gotten through the buffet line yet. All I can do now is ask everyone, yes, you, share your comments down below, tell me what you think, please let me know what you thought about Godzilla Fest 4, Operation Jet Jaguar, or Fest Godzilla. Tell me what you think about Operation Jet Jaguar. What are you hoping they do next? Sound off below. Thank you for stomping by, everyone. I'm Tom, and I'll destroy you all utterly later.